hunter-gatherer societies.
Do you know how people lived 15,000 years ago? Well, to start, everyone was a hunter or gatherer. Today we learn about the life of ancient hunting and gathering societies. For the first organized society and how they survived in harmony.
Hunting-gatherer societies consisted of less than 40 people, though there were over 1,000 of these interesting societies. These societies rarely ever ran out of food, but they had to move monthly to find more food sources. As a result, these societies were constantly on the move, and they had no permanent settlements. It was truly a nomadic life for these men and women.
In general, gatherers were mostly women. There were many methods to gather food, such as digging for edible roots or gathering honey. Skillful gatherers could determine over 100 plants and could organize them from nutrition. The food gatherers provide 60 to 80% of the food supply, so they were a key part to make these societies work.
Hunters were the men of the group. The hunter's most effective and sacred weapon was the bow and arrow. Other than that, the first hunters used javelins and spears. Although they had all these weapons, the average hunter would only make a kill every 4 to 10 days. Meat was regarded as the most prestigious food by both men and women. So the hunters were always a very important part of making the societies work. Hunting provided 20 to 40% of the food supply.
These societies believed in animism, that everything had spirit. Religion worked with government to prevent scarcity in food in hopes of their societies. Religion might have not been a big factor in these societies, but was important nevertheless.
Behavior of hunter-gatherers was in fact very flexible and adaptive to the environment. We can see that these types of behaviors in those who follow the traditions that they kept for centuries. The following names are the names of the tribes who do keep these rules: Tibetans, hermits, nomads, Hindu saints, Buddhist monks, and everyday vegetarians.
Politics came through discussion and consensus. There were leaders, chiefs, but their leadership was very limited. The government worked together with religion to keep things in order. It was still an important job to be a leader, for uncontrolled demand for resources would soon lead to starvation.
The hunter-gatherers wasted little time on building shelter, and some societies didn't go much farther than flimsy tents. The hunter-gatherer societies were always on the move. Occasionally, they would stay in one place for more than a year, but when it ran out of nutrients, they would move on. But normally, they would only stay for a month or so. A year in one place was so rare that normally it never happened.
Types and periods of the H&G. Some types of societies were Northwest Coast Indians, the Mesopotamian nomadic tribes, the Samaria city-states.
The education of the hunter-gatherer societies were informal, and they had life stages such as birth, marriage, and death. There were no teachers. There were only old masters and the tribe workers to teach them. Besides those, there were religious scriptures, but they didn't come till later in the ancient periods.
And that's how the hunter-gatherers lived.
For a while, the richness of the society's lives blinded the Europeans for how they worked together with such richness.
Now it's amazing how they pulled through.
How they hunted, how they got.